is Waleuska Lazo, and I am so thrilled to have with me Deva Neely. And Deva Neely is so many things. She's a voice coach, she is an actress, and an empowerment coach with mental health. And I'm so happy to have her. She has been a student of the Gratitude Experiment. And so I'm here to find out, how did you even hear about the Gratitude Experiment, Deva?
Well, I have been so blessed to have you in my life for the past 14, 15 years. And I saw what you were doing and saw your own journey in going from this place of hardship and turmoil to this wonderful place that you're at now. And you had reached out to people saying, I'm looking for people who might want to be part of this beta group, and it's about gratitude, and I always want to support you. And I said, sure, I'll be a part of it. Okay. And little did I know just how much it would change my life.
And so, Deva, what was happening in your life at that moment or at that time that prompted you, not only to support me on this endeavor, but prompted you to, want to spend and make the commitment of 28 days to learn about gratitude?
I was in a place in my life that I was in such turmoil myself. I have PTSD. I'm a survivor of suicide. My brother died by suicide, and multiple traumas that happened within a very short period of time. And I was in a place of pivot because in a support group that I was in, somebody was asking how long people had been dealing with PTSD. And one woman said 43 years and counting.
Wow.
And it was that moment I said, no, I can't do this for the rest of my life. I can't be in this place. I need to be proactive, and I need to find what's going to help me. So, on top of therapy, on top of these trauma groups, I was starting out on a path to my own wellness and taking responsibility. So your program came along at just the right time when I was just starting to go, where do I look? What do I do? What do I try? And I was already in a place where I was journaling, and I was trying to write down, things on a daily basis that I was grateful for. So it was just starting to become a practice with me. And I was finding it really difficult. Some days my gratitude was, thank you for this coffee in my cup. Or thank you for caffeine. I am grateful for caffeine. So it was a stretch, but little did I know is that all it takes is that little step. And so when you offered that program, I was like, yeah, hell, I'll try anything at this point, because I am not going to be the person that says 43 years and counting with PTSD.
That's amazing. So I guess, the fear to try something new was less than the fear of staying in the past. And
absolutely.
And that's what I think, everyone has the ability to change, but you also have to be willing and ready to hear the message. And I guess you were at that point, and it's synchronicity that, you were at that point where you really wanted to make a change, and then the Gratitude Experiment comes.
Yes.
In many ways. That's
yes.
amazing. And Deva, what would you say to people listening and watching this? What was the biggest shift, the biggest impact that you feel in your life prior and then after the course?
So the biggest shift prior was the realization that I needed to be responsible for my journey. And I didn't know what that looked like. I just knew that I couldn't rely on anyone else to fix me, that I needed to start doing something for myself. And then through the experiment and those 28 days, which seems really daunting at first, but really it was no time at all that was required of me. And so that concept of 5 minutes to gratitude, I thought, okay, if I can't give 5 minutes of my day, then I have a bigger issue to deal with. And so I was eager to jump in, and I started in the program. And the first day I'm like, yeah, I got this. And then, you know, the second day I'm like, yep, I can still do this. And then the third day I'm like, oh boy, I've got to really think about this, because you presented these prompts and made us think about things that we don't often think about, like recognizing that child in us and going back to that child. And that part was huge for me, because I started to really tap into that relationship with that child in me.
Mm-hmm.
And I started remembering a lot of things from my childhood. And so I almost feel like the gratitude experiment brought me full circle, that I was able to connect in a way that I saw this trajectory that happened in my life, and it brought me back to that place, to that point in my life where it's the last place I remember being fully happy, safe, content, loved, and I truly understood the value of family and relationships. So, you know, just in those daily prompts that you gave us, and then I was hooked at that point, because I'm like, oh crap, like that was such a great shift for me. And it started opening up all kinds of things that I started to get excited about life again. And that was huge for me, because with PTSD, you spend your life in fear and you're fearful of everything. So it puts you in this place of being paralyzed. And so all of a sudden, I wasn't feeling paralyzed anymore. I was actually excited to see what the day might bring. And that was something I hadn't felt in years and years and years.
And that's one of the beautiful things about doing the work. You know, a huge aspect of FMTG is going back to the root of everything, you know, not just taking a pill and putting a band-aid on things. You know, we having to go back to our past, to our childhood, where, you know, we formed all our limiting beliefs.
Yes.
And work through the layers of things that, you know, we may have really shoved, you know, in our subconscious mind, that we don't even think they're there, or things that we thought we have dealt with in the past, but they're still there and we haven't healed them. So yeah, I think it is very powerful. And what ends up happening is, as you work through those layers, all that energy that you had trapped into your, at the cellular level, is all of a sudden being released, and you have all this energy that's free to create a new life for yourself. And I guess that's what you experienced.
Yeah. I also found it brought me to a place of forgiveness, that I was able to start looking at the relationships in my life and those who hurt me, and realize that they were just operating from a different level of consciousness.
Yeah. And from the imprints and the limiting beliefs and the experiences that they had themselves.
Yes, exactly. So it freed me in so many ways, and it really it catapulted me into this direction that, one, I never thought possible, to be able to stand here now, and now I'm helping other people, and that my focus is empowering trauma survivors to find their voice and to tell their stories and to take back what is theirs. And, you know, that is something I never, like, if you had said this is what's going to happen in a couple of years, Deva, I would have laughed at you going, are you kidding? I can barely get out of bed today. But through that experiment and really connecting with myself and connecting with the world around me, I was able to shift my life in ways that I never thought possible. And now gratitude, it's just a part of who I am every day. I wake up in gratitude. I go to sleep at night in gratitude. And I find that the more you focus on gratitude, the more comes to you that you're grateful for.
Absolutely. And one of the great things for people out there that do suffer from anxiety and, you know, depression, is that, you know, the mind can only hold one emotion at any given moment. So if you are busy feeling grateful for something, it's pretty difficult to feel anxiety at the same time.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And you start feeling this sense of peace that you hear people describe it and you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm relaxed. But you truly don't understand until you've gotten to that point and understand what serenity feels like, and you understand calm, and you start seeing beauty in everything, even in the bad things.
Yes.
Like, I'm even grateful for the trauma, and it doesn't mean I condone the behavior, or it doesn't mean that I tell everybody, oh, you should go and experience trauma and then change your life. But I'm grateful it happened, because it brought me to this point right here, right now, and it's made me who I am.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. FMTG gives you the responsibility. It puts you, at the front and center of your life. And I believe that what it does is that it makes you accountable for your own healing.
Yeah.
And it gives you the tools to self-regulate. So as someone who, experiences a lot of anxiety and stress regularly, how do you cope, before and after the course? Did FMTG give you the ability to cope better?
Oh, absolutely.
It doesn't mean that you're not going to go through periods of anxiety and depression, but maybe it has shortened, the response time.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I still get triggered. PTSD will always be a part of my life, but it is knowing the skills and the tools that I need that will help me bounce back. And so rather than a trigger putting me out for 3 weeks, sometimes it just takes me an hour to regroup. And oftentimes that's where I'll sit in silence and I will breathe and I will focus on myself, and then I'll face whatever that trigger is. So it's given me the strength and the courage to be able to face what the trigger is. And sometimes new things trigger me and I don't realize it, right? But that's life. Life is always going to throw us curveballs, and it's how we deal with them when they happen. So, one of the main things that I absolutely love about FMTG is the community that you've built. Because when we are all seeking that place of gratitude and we are all working towards that and the betterment of self, we very naturally create a community of support and love, and it's unconditional love. There's no judgment. There's only people there who are wanting to support and lift you up and help you in your time of need. And there are people in that group who reached out to me and really were so helpful in, even if it was just a message in a day, just saying, you are enough.
That's beautiful.
And, I was like, oh, that's exactly what I needed to hear today. Thank you so much. And so it creates a community of people, like-minded people, that are all wanting to change the world in their own little way. And that's all it takes, right? When you help one person, and then one person is going to go and help another person.
Exactly.
And so when you've created this amazing, magical community of people who are wanting to make somebody else feel great. And in that, you feel great, right? And that's what they don't understand, or that's what people don't understand, because we don't often think to heal, we need to give. And it's in giving to others that we receive. It's sort of that yin and yang of the universe, right?
They say you can help, to help someone else without first helping yourself. It's,
right.
It's intertwined, right? You're helping others, but you are also helping yourself. And so, Deva, in closing, what would you say to someone watching this video and who's thinking about changing any aspect of their life? Would you recommend, for them to do an FMTG course?
Absolutely. I think you almost wish it was mandatory that every human being on the earth had to do this course as a rite of passage, right? Like it really should be, how they do, in some tribes and some cultures, they have these rites of passages. This should be for like global rite of passage for you to be able to, turn 18 and vote. You should have to have completed the FMTG. I think it has nothing but benefits. And whether it's somebody who is hurting and trying to deal with trauma, whether it's somebody who feels stuck in their life, or whether it's just somebody who wants to build on something that they're already creating, this gratitude, I think there's something in it for everybody. And I think it should do it multiple times. I've been part of the group many times now, and you learn something new every time you do it.
It's amazing because I was not expecting that. And a lot of the students say that when they go through it a few times, even though the lessons are the same, what comes out of it is completely different each time. Maybe because they're going deeper, or is it because of, what they're facing at that moment in their lives? The experience is always different. And that's a wonderful thing.
Yes. It's like unwrapping a gift, right? When you start out, you take the card off.
Yes.
And then you keep going and you get the message that's in the card. And then you do the course again, and all of a sudden you take the ribbon off. Oh, look at the pretty paper. And then you do it again and you take the paper off, and there's this box and like, ooh, what's inside? Until you get to this beautiful gift that's inside that's meant for you. And then you can't help but carry that with you on a daily basis, and it becomes a habit. It's habit forming, so that you don't have to consciously think about, what am I grateful for in this moment? You just very naturally go, wow, look at that beautiful tree. I've never noticed that tree before. Wow, how lucky are we that we have this beautiful nature all around us? And so all of a sudden your shift happens, and it just becomes part of who you are.
I agree. I think FMTG, one of the biggest things for me is that it really taught me to look at the world through different lenses and with a different heart. That's really what it does. And for everyone listening out there, if you have any part of your life that you want to heal, any trauma from your childhood, I think this course is for you. And I welcome you to come and experience what it's like to go from victim to an architect of your own life, because that is really what happens. You are co-creating every day the life you want to have. And so I welcome everyone. And I think one of the biggest blessings is that it teaches us how to transform our pain into wisdom. So we have better tools, and we're more empowered to go out there and face the challenge every day through gratitude. So thank you, Deva. I really
my pleasure.
Appreciate all your support. And for those of you who want to find out more about the Gratitude Experiment, you can find me at waleuscalazo.com/the Gratitude Experiment. And we have a course starting on June 22nd. And I'm so excited to take the journey with you. Take care.